It's good afternoon to everyone because it's 12:15, I think. Yeah. So I'm talking about automotive security bugs explained for bug hunters, and it's more on an initiative to promote people to hack for cars and also to know how we prioritize bugs for cars or automotive. So my name is Jay Turla. That's my handle, and they tell me that my name is Jaykan Shikri from Singham because I've seen that movie, my Indian friends. So I work as a SecOps manager for Bugcrowd, and as a hobby and as a fellow hacker, I also help organize RootCon in the Philippines, and then also the CFP review board. So I see a lot of submissions from different hackers as well, their research, and also some good Indian security research. So Indians are really close to my heart because I have a lot of friends there in this field, and also I'm not the author of Kurla malware. I'm pretty sure that you guys heard. I'm not even Russian. I'm Filipino. So just so you know. Yeah. So I also organized the car hacking village. I had the car hacking village in Asia and also in RootCon. And I have a friend also who is good in car hacking in India. His name is Arun Mani, and I thank him for bringing me here actually. So I'm also I love contributing to security tools. You might have seen some of the modules I've created for Metasploit, and I've also contributed some Metasploit modules related to car hacking. And I am your Bai. I don't know if I pronounced it right. Yeah. So yeah. Well, why car hacking? Oh yes, I forgot. I'm from Kida crowd. That's right? Yeah, bug crowd, the Kida crowd. And then it's car hacking is fun. It's really fun. There's a good community. There's a good community in DEF CON, in other countries as well. In fact, in India, you also have a car hacking village as well from Arun Mani. The guy is the founder of Aminatech. And because car hacking we use it every day, right? We want to ensure that we are safe from attackers or total takeover. So, uh, the good thing about cars is that it also has a lot of attack surfaces. So when you say attack surfaces, it's your point of entry. Take for example, in a house, there are like two doors, and then that's what the thief sees, right? But a hacker, he also sees the windows as an entry point. Okay. So basically, in Bugcrowd, we have my other computer is your computer, but for cars, my other computer is your car's computer. Because cars are like, they have infotainment systems, and it's like buying a very expensive computer. So car hacking bug bashes pay well. We have launched bug bashes for cars, and the good thing is that if you're into IoT security, you could even though you don't know about CAN bus, you could actually hack the infotainment systems or other gateways for cars. Take for example the telematics, the infotainment, the one that you can see from your dashboard. Okay. So yep. In the last year, we actually paid 224,000 USD bug bounties just for cars. Okay. And if you want to start about car hacking, please don't forget about this book. It's the Car Hacker's Handbook. You just need to search for Google, and the online version is free. And if you want to buy the paperback, it costs like $25 or $15, I'm not sure. But if you get like humble bundle, you can have a lot of books together with it. So, and if you have a paperback and if you see Craig Smith, from any other conference, you could let him sign the book actually. So that's Craig Smith. This was Root Control. So our conference exists for like 14 years already. And, that's him talking, keynoting, and we gave him some shots. So it's, in the Philippines, you get a lot of shots if you do speaking. And then, in his book, these are the most common attack surfaces. So I'm just talking about, I'll just talk about the known bugs. For example, cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, TPMS, or the tire pressure monitoring system of the car. You have the KES, and then for internal, when you say internal, that's the thing that you can see inside of the car. So you have the infotainment, the nav console, so everything that you can touch to like interact with the navigation, those are internal. So you have the USB as an attack surface as well. I'll show you a demo. And then you have the OBD2 connector. So by default, OBD connectors are at the down. In the steering wheel, it's under the steering wheel. So OBD means onboard diagnostics, and actually, this is a sample of it. So say for example, you could, if you have a ELM 327 which allows you to do basic diagnostics, you can put it in the OBD2. So it could also be near your handbrakes. It depends actually on the car. But for most modern cars that I've seen, it's usually under the steering wheel. And come to think of it, OBD2 is internal, right? And it travels on CAN bus. The transmission, there's CAN bus in that. So how do we attack the car if we're outside the car? There are many ways. You could sniff the key fob attack, key fob, or you could rip off some of the brake lights or your sensors. And if you just use a multitester and then find 1.5 volts, you can see that there's CAN bus transmission. So, yeah, those are the things that you can see on a modern car. So you have telematics, you have HVAC, keyless entry. So it's getting all this very famous right now. I mean, it's a trend right now. It's keyless entry. So, I can't say a car manufacturing company wherein there was a time in the Philippines during the 2000s, every Toyota car that has this key fob, I can't say who is the maker of that key fob. I mean, not the car manufacturer. But if you push the key fobs together, you could actually cause or to get duplication of each key fob. That was like early 2000 before. So thus you have access to someone's car and your car as well. So there's no explanation how was that, because that was like 2000, but they have that issue before. So in BugCrowd, or we actually open source this one as well. It's in GitHub. So we created a rating. It's my friend and also Dax Labrador and I created a classification or rating for car bugs or automotive security bugs. And as what you can see, there's infotainment. So you say infotainment, if you can do a P2 leakage, basically it's a P1 issue because it's all about privacy issue, right? And then from there, the RF hub, if you could do key fob cloning, like for example, the same key and you can clone that one. So basically, that's also a P1. So let's say RF hub, the radio frequency hub. Okay. And then if you have infotainment, you could do code execution and then you could pivot to CAN bus. So that's something that we reward as P2 as well. And if you don't have CAN bus pivot, it's just that you're able to execute something locally, then that's something we reward as a P3 issue. But don't get me wrong, okay? We all know as bug hunters that we have remote code execution and command injection as P1, right? But it's because with just hacking the infotainment, and for example, if that infotainment is on a sandbox ECU, and you can take over the car, there's no use, right? It's just the infotainment that you were able to attack. Yeah. So basically, if you could take over the car and then through the infotainment, you could actually land to P1 because that's bypassing the authentication mechanism supposedly. You're not allowed to do so. So Charlie Miller and Chris Velasquez. So since 2018, almost all FCA vehicles they have firewall. They're called as security gateways. You can't just spoof messages if you don't have the right seed key. So, but if you're able to crack the seed key for the car, you can actually get a reward for that as well. There are a lot of bypasses. So you can't just spoof you can't just cause an overflow for a car if there is gateway, but there is a way to bypass them. There are a lot of bypasses. Like for example, fire hose attack, CAN probing, CAN quad. So it's up to you how you do that actually. So yeah, I've seen that one from Google. So the banana guy, right? So basically, like I said, if you could bypass the firewall for security gateways of a car, you get a P1. That's a very critical issue. Okay? So firewall, like I said, since 2018, it's not easy to hack cars. Okay? But it can still be hacked. Just not that easy. Because you need to brute force or do some creative attack. There was this one test bench wherein I was able to reset the ECU, but when I tried it on the car itself, because there was no security gateway on the test bench of that same model, and my attack doesn't work. So that's one of the things that the security gateway or firewall protects. So if you could flash or program the ECU by bypassing the security gateway or firewall, so you are also bypassing something, or you are also you can be rewarded for a good amount because you are not supposed to do that. Okay, but back in the days, you could actually do that, even Canva. Even on OBD2. So you shouldn't be able to spoof. That's the thing. And then there are other Android or iOS app vulnerabilities. So it varies. So take for example, if your car has an endpoint or an Android app wherein it allows you to control your car, and if you find in that endpoint that you are able to turn it off other cars, so that's something that we reward. There was an issue before in Nissan Leaf wherein it was Troy Hunt and his friend. He wrote an article about it. So basically, he has an app for Nissan Leaf. Nissan Leaf is an electric car. He just tried to use Perp and then intercepted the request and the responses. And then he was able to see an endpoint wherein it's patched now, so don't worry, don't be afraid. But basically, if you know there's a certain parameter which calls the VIN number of the car, and because the Nissan Leaf has telematics 4G connection, basically, if you just know the VIN number of other cars, you can turn off your car or turn on the car. So that's how scary it is. And when you say VIN number, you could just look it up, right? On the car. So if there's a window in the car and you just peek, you can see the VIN number. Right? So it's not the VIN number that's vulnerable. It's the endpoint itself. So VINs are public records. There's been a debate if it should be public or private. And then web vulnerabilities connected to the cloud, telematics, firmware update server. So for example, if your car has over-the-air updates, and then you connect your car to Wi-Fi, and then you try to sniff on it while it's updating the server, and it's on HTTP, for example. So maybe you could modify the firmware on the fly. So that's something that we also reward, and it varies. So it's probably that on that endpoint, there's a web server. And what if there's SQL injection, there's server-side request forgery. So it's up to you. Just refer to OWASP Mobile Top 10 methodology and hack from there. So it's not just about the hardware itself. You need to look deeper. So I have some insights on common vulnerabilities. So don't mind the meme. That was a fight between Philippine team of basketball and Australia. So yeah, it's how we got banned in FIBA before. Yeah. So one thing is that there's this infotainment DOS through format string vulnerability, which we could classify from my own perspective as P4. So in Bugcrowd, we have P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. And if it's P5, it means it's a best practice, missing best practice. If it's a P4, it's a low vulnerability, but we still pay for that. Okay? P3, P2, P1 is the highest. So this means that if you could create a DOS if you could cause a DOS for your infotainment, say this guy, so a CVE 9212, there was this guy who tested his BMW. He named his phone, because you can name your phone, or you could also upload an MP3 file to your phone and then play it to your car through Bluetooth. So you could person X, person C. So a lot of that you can traverse. And then after that, after he connected to his phone through Bluetooth, he bricked his infotainment. And I'm not sure what happened to his infotainment, but he told me that he actually needs to go to the shop to have it replaced. Okay. Yeah. So like I said, this is very risky. And we used to have this bug bash wherein we also brick some of the devices. And we also have this experience wherein someone was fuzzing a lot of things on the CAN bus. And on the end of the day, the car doesn't run anymore. It turns on, but it doesn't run. So there are things like that. So be careful. In this case, be careful. You can't play your favorite song anymore. Yeah. Yeah. So this is my car. It's a Mazda 2 Sports. Basically, infotainment default credentials can be an issue sometimes for car manufacturers, but sometimes it's not. Okay? So maybe you could try to brute force or maybe acquire it through other ways. So you need to know the default password, and that's your attack surface. Or you could also connect through SSH from that. So you just need to connect your car to your Wi-Fi router and then fetch the DHCP IP address, then do an nmap to see what are the services. Then from that services, try to check if you could actually log in or use netcat. So in here, you can see that the Mazda is running on SSH. There's an SSH service from the infotainment, and the default password is JCI. But sometimes they don't care, sometimes they do. Okay. Basically, you could also this from the same infotainment from my car. So if you could do this, then you could also be rewarded for doing command injection. So no CAN bus pivot, because there's no CAN bus. When you say CAN bus pivot, it means that you are able to interact with the CAN protocol. So cars communicate with their controllers and microprocessors, the ECU itself, through the CAN protocol. And it's not just the CAN protocol. There are a lot of protocols involved. So I'll show you. I have the PLC. Forgive me if I don't have license for PowerPoint because I just downloaded it. I'm still waiting for the IT to give me. But anyways, it's not pirated. Don't worry. Anyways, here's the chicken and me playing a song. So yeah, that's a Mazda. And then I just cloned the POC that I wrote for Mazda. And it's not that visible, right? But anyways, that's my flash drive. Yeah, and then I insert it to my USB port of my car. And then wait. So it recognized my car. Don't mind the chicken, he's just chilling. So basically, we just need to move forward because it takes time. But here, right. there. POC that the USB port is an attack surface. We need to move forward, and then there. After that, executed the command uname space -a as a PLC, and there. So I'm the reason why Mazda patched their cars for the infotainment, actually. So if you could, and then you go deeper, you then interact with the CAN, you could get rewarded higher than P3. So like I said, it's not just about CAN bus, right? So, like I said, ECU resets bypassing the security gateway is a P1. So basically, if you could reset the ECU or the electronic control unit, you could get a very good reward. It's most likely like 25,000 USD just for that bug, or 30,000. So Chris Velasek and Charlie Miller has a book about advanced CAN injection attacks, which could help. And that's the link. Don't worry, I'll share the slide. Don't worry. So the guys from Keen Labs, pretty sure who has heard of these guys? They're one of the best. So basically, they were able to exploit the Wi-Fi stack on a Tesla model, the infotainment as well. So basically, from a bug bounty program perspective, it's usually P3, but I want to lean to P2 because it's a really good research. Okay, so there's a reference there, and they were able to get shell by just attacking the Wi-Fi stack on an infotainment. So yeah, it could also be upgraded as a P1. So I'm getting very jealous of them, or like leaning. One of the guys is actually a researcher I met in Hong Kong last December. Don't worry, there was no coronavirus during that time yet. So yeah, I've been to Hong Kong. It's very near to my country. These guys, Charlie Miller and Chris Velasek, and they really did a lot of good attacks. So when you say about car hacking, they're the reason why Jeep or FCA, Fiat Chrysler, patch their system. Then we'll have demo time from yeah, very good. So before we start our demo, these are the prerequisites. So this is what you call an instrument cluster. Okay, still on, right? And then, yeah, I have NanoCAN. For just $5, you can create your tool already. I have some PCBs actually still here. I can give it to you guys. And then I have Contact, STM32 CAN sniffer, and then I have Value CAN 4. But for this demo, I'm not sure how my STM32 doesn't work now. I'm not sure why, but let's try later. Some tools, yeah, there is a link in there. Yeah, Illuminati hack, UNetCo hack. Yeah. Basically, you could also start with the car hacking tools here, and clone the machine, or you could use Git. Yeah, you could take pictures, right? And then you could also use Metasploit. There are a lot of modules for Metasploit actually. So, the chicken is here again. Anyways, I've written a module for Mazda 2. That's my favorite car, so I hope they don't get me to jail for that. But anyways, there's a script that I wrote which allows you to just connect your CAN interface to Metasploit and then fuzz it. So if you open Metasploit, just use the keyword search automotive, okay? And you can see a lot of post modules once you have the hardware bridge session of your CAN pack or your CAN device. So, okay, no wait. So I have I have a demo, live demo here. The problem is I can't show you the traffic behind it, but anyways. It's moving, right? So you can see it's moving. So I'm supposed to demo how you can fuzz it a lot, but I don't know what happened to my device. I think I need to flash my device. But anyways, take for example, this is a normal working of a car, and you try to send a lot of messages. So for just, a $5 tool, you just need Arduino Nano and MCP2515 to fuzz something from your car. So please don't fuzz random messages to your car, or else you'll do a lot of damage. By the way, Metasploit module has a module that allows you to test the airbags. But please don't try this at home. Yeah. Anyways, I'm not sure what happened, but because I'm supposed to send data through CAN dump, but it's not working right now. But let me just try CanGen. Is it moving? No, that's the normal way, but it's still a fuzzing. But it didn't do some other stuff. But I don't know what happened. Yeah, but it's okay. At least we get to know that we can actually fuzz something, right? Yeah, sad to say I can't. But here's the actual demo of it. Actually, good thing I recorded the video. So this is what you call CAN in the middle. So this is what I'm supposed to demo, actually. Okay, so when you do a CAN dump, this is free. You just need to use the CAN utils, and that's my tool. And then I'm doing a man in the middle using CANTAC, and that's what it did. Alright? Like that. So you're trying to mess up something. You're not supposed, you shouldn't be able to do this if there's a firewall. Okay? You shouldn't be able. But because I just, use some wires, figured out the pins, okay? And, 16 pin is actually 12 volts, then 18 pin is ground, and 14 and 15 is CAN high and CAN low. There are a lot of attacks that you can do aside from this. And this is from my Mazda as well. This is the Metasploit module I created. But anyway, it should look like this. Using Arduino Nano, and then I coded my Nano to send messages through Canva. So yeah, that's from a Mazda. I love the cluster so much from Mazda. So it's really a good cluster. So yeah, there are a lot of things that you can do. I mean, this is just a proof of concept that you could do these things by sniffing or sending messages to a car through CAN bus. So it's not just internally, externally. There was this one researcher where he was able to open the car because he opened one of the sensors. Okay, so imagine one of the burglars or thieves doing that, getting advanced, because it already happened in the US, wherein they tried to intercept the key fob as well. Anyways, I'm open to questions now. So let me know if you have questions. Yeah, sure. What was it again? Oh, you mean CAN injection through DOS or?
Sure.
I'm not sure. Can you go? Do you have mic for this so that I can
There are some fault injections and glitch attacks which are run on the UDS protocol of the
UDS.
Yes,
UDS.
to break the authentication of the UDS. So have you tried like any of these things? Or
Yeah, but I can't disclose it. I mean, I triage bugs for bug crowd. I'm a triager, and I've seen those kind of attacks as well, and also did UDS fuzzing as well.
Okay, so what kind of like tools are there? Can you just tell?
Sometimes you can use Python CAN and then use isotope module, and then you can break the seed key from there. I can't show the POC for that. I'm so sorry. We have NDA, but yes, there. I also tried wherein we did ECU resets as well.
Through the fault injections?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We did also a lot of things actually, but I can't. I'm only discussing the POC because I don't want to get fired.
Yeah. Hey. Hi. This side.
Where are you? Okay.
Hi.
Here.
My name is Prathamesh. So I run a tech company in Indore. So we have developed telematics solutions.
Okay.
So it's completely based on IoT protocols.
Yeah.
So my question is around protocols basically. A lot of trackers and GPS trackers works on HTTP protocol, right?
That's
Most
right.
of the Chinese trackers in India, they also work on that.
Don't say that.
Sorry. I mean, sorry. So our protocol, so we use MQTT. So is there any protocol suggestions which you could give us, which we can explore or add to our product?
You mean how to secure it?
Yeah, I mean, whatever your perspective would be.
Sad thing is I don't know how. I mean, I just know about offensive things for this one, but I think one thing that I could actually suggest is implement a security gateway. Maybe that's one of the things as well. It protects radio hub attacks as well for security gateway. But that's the only thing that I know. Other from going in depth, I can't really share my expertise. Maybe some people could help you, but Bosch has really a good idea about that one. And also Lear Corporation.
Sorry?
Lear Corporation.
Lear Corporation.
Lear, do you have office here in Lear? Right? Lear Corporation in India? I think Bangalore.
Okay,
They have good. Their engineers are even using a security tool for testing their cars. They use Canoe. It's a very expensive tool. Canoe. So basically, the most common enterprise tools for testing against CAN bus hacking, and also other protocols. You have Canoe and Vehicle Spy. Yeah, Vehicle Spy and Canoe. Sure.
Hi.
Hello.
I have one question. So, like, if as you talk about the ECU, like you can control it. So, if I'm able to build a solution with IDS and IPS on ECU, how much secure it will be? Do you think there will be at least 80 or 90% protection for the cars at like very?
How much is the?
Yeah, is it a good solution to have IDS IPS on ECU, or is it fine?
Basically, there's IDS. I've heard from one of my friends, the founder of Car Hacking Village. There's already an IDS, and it's not yet, big in the market right now. But if you could do that, I'm pretty sure you're gonna get rich.
Actually, a few years back, I was working with Bosch, so they had
Bosch?
ETAS
Okay.
was working and implementing this IDS IPS. Now I'm now with Honeywell, so I'm not sure.
So basically, for Bosch, they're the ones designing most security gateways right now. Okay. So they have what they call security gateway, but we don't call them as IDS. It's basically a firewall. But I heard that there's already an IDS for cars, but not yet like launched in the market.
So currently, none of the car has implemented that particular solution. None of the cars manufacturers have implemented those solution IDS and IPS on ECU.
There is already. I'm not sure, but someone said that he was able to test one.
Okay.
But it's not yet. That car didn't like run in the streets yet. Yeah, I'm not sure who actually. But as far as I know, Bosch is developing. I have actually one of their boxes from Bosch. I love Bosch, but I wasn't able to played a lot on their firewall. I mean, just physically, hardware reverse engineering, no. But I was able to see how it was
Okay.
bypassed.
No problem. Thank you.
And then also how it can protect you from attack. Honeywell. You work at Honeywell now?
Yeah, hi. So, I mean, I have some idea about automotive and I have one question. So, okay, when we talk about automotive security and bugs, we either take protocols which are generally available like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, all those stuff, or we talk only about CAN. Nobody talks about any other protocols like some IP, most, or anything. Is it that there is no research going on in those protocols, or like maybe CAN is just easily available?
There's also a research going on for FlexRay. So FlexRay, you could actually do a man in the middle for FlexRay as well. There's a new write-up today. I'm sorry I haven't added it to my slide, but I'm supposed to. If you haven't reminded me, I'm supposed to add that one. But someone was able to do a CAN in the middle through FlexRay and control the steering wheel. Okay? Imagine controlling the steering wheel. So this is not a CAN protocol. It's called FlexRay.
I understand that. I mean, the critical systems are on FlexRay, or at least high bandwidth systems.
That's right.
So that's why we are only focusing on CAN, like all the issues that you said. Mostly they were either in Bluetooth Wi-Fi or in CAN. I have not seen any public disclosure of issues that are in FlexRay, most, or some IP, nothing.
There's already a public disclosure for Audi about FlexRay.
Okay. So I may have missed that.
Yeah. So basically, all I can really tell you about good things is that there's a lot of things going on the car hacking village in DEFCON. Yeah. It's not just about CAN, but it's easier for us to give a demo as a POC only. Yeah. But there are a lot of things going on for car bug bashes, reverse engineering as well, and then IoT for telematics, and then other protocols to FlexRay, and then there are a lot actually. Even the OBD2, it has certain pinouts for it. Yeah. But CAN bus is like the easiest thing that you could do. Even planes have CAN bus. Even satellites have CAN bus. But because Will Corona actually confirmed that to me, that he was able to see that there's CAN bus as well. So if you know Will Corona, he's like the not Corona. So he was the one who talked about freaking elevators in DEFCON.
Okay, one related question. So, I understand that these are protocols and at some point, protocol level issues will be fixed by either platforms like AutoSAR or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we actually look into application implementations which are beyond the definition of protocol? Like any key management issues, authentication issues?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is there any research going on in that area also?
Yeah, there's an automotive security research group now, and they talk about security aside from offensive.
Yeah, because I mean, anything those data becomes implementers proprietary stuff. Right? They don't disclose what what data in the CAN bus means, what it is.
Yeah.
You have to figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
So, is there any standardization or something like OBD has defined some of the services, but still not most of them? So then there has to be some way for researchers to actually explore how to understand the data that is flowing in between. Right?
Okay.
So is there any effort going on in that side?
Yeah, automotive security research group. They do like that. They have a lot of sessions about that. There's no automotive security research group in India, but there's one in London, in the US, in Detroit, and then there's one in Singapore. So but for Singapore, they didn't talk about that. Usually it's all about creating their own car in a box. I also have my car in a box at home. So that's usually the focus of automotive security research group in Singapore. But if you want to dive into that, more research about that, in Detroit, they really do those kind of things. I mean, I've listened to some talks, and to tell you the truth, I don't even understand some of the things that they're saying. Very welcome. I'm not sure if I answered your question correctly, but so basically, automotive security is not my forte. I mean, like, my expertise really. So I just have experience with car bug bashes. So that's the reason why I have, some say in some POCs. But I've seen some attacks that I can't discuss for NDA purposes. Yeah, but security can't really help you with that. Yeah. Yeah. No more questions? Thank you for your time, and I hope you learned something.